It gives me a great pleasure to welcome our special guest presenter today, Faranak. Faranak is a specialist nutrition and dietitian. And just on a personal level, she's got all the qualifications that she needs, but on a personal level, she's been helping me over the last 9 weeks with my personal journey. And it's not about a diet, it really is about changing and towards a healthier lifestyle. And so it's been an amazing journey. Darlene is on the journey with me, and together we are living this out and experiencing it. And so I've lost about 13 centimeters around my belly and another 11 or 12 centimeters around my hips, and a total over the last 9 weeks of 9.5 kilograms. That's great, but let me tell you, that's not the most important. My headaches and migraines have minimized dramatically. I'm feeling great, and I'm certainly fitting into the clothes that I wasn't fitting in before. So it's been an adventure. And so I really, from a personal space, can endorse what and who Faranak is in terms of helping and supporting me through my journey. So she will give you her details afterwards to be able to connect with her. And if you don't have that, please just remember, you can contact us, and we are very, very happy to share that with you. So without further ado, Faranak, over to you.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year to you all. Hope you all had a lovely holidays and started the new year nice and fresh. Thank you so much, Melanie, for a nice introduction, and well done for all you have achieved throughout the last few weeks. I just facilitated the change, and then you did all the hard work, so well done for that. I think something that we all learned from the unusual year of 2020 was the importance of our health. It might not have been the year to get everything that we wished for, but it was certainly a year to appreciate everything that we had. It was a year to think about our health and make it a priority. So your responsibility to you and your family is to look after your health. And as we are going through the second wave of COVID-19 infections, we thought it is quite important to know how to protect yourself when something unexpected like this happens. I was listening to the news this morning, and I saw that we set a new record of just close to 22,000 new daily infection records for the day, which is not really good. So you could wait around for the vaccine to protect you from COVID-19, or you could use a weapon already here close at hand in your kitchen, which is your diet. Studies show that if you have specific serious underlying health conditions, you are more likely to suffer badly or die from COVID-19 infection. And among these conditions are basically obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, hypertension, heart attack, and stroke. So these are all fall under the umbrella of metabolic syndrome, also known as disease of lifestyle. So doctors define lifestyle disease as medical conditions or disorders resulting from lifestyle habits. And as we all know, diet is a major contributing factor to lifestyle disease. And growing evidence shows that healthy diet significantly can reduce the symptoms of all these diseases, or can even put them into remission. So my talk today is basically about nutrition and how you can support your immune system using nutrition. And we are going to touch on COVID-19 as well, as I think it is a very important topic these days. So the important which started as we went through this pandemic is that why doesn't SARS-CoV-2 impact everyone in the same way? The data shows that about 1 in 6 people who get infected experience severe symptoms like difficulty breathing, resulting in hospitalization. Some people, perhaps even most, get what feels like flu, and some aren't even aware that that's an healthy and symptom-free. So why asthma, heart disease, blood pressure, type 2 diabetes are all considered risk factors for serious and severe COVID-19 outcomes. And these diseases are profoundly impacted on lifestyle. So a healthy immune system is pretty balanced against all kind of. So here is just a little data, death rate of COVID-19 patients with pre-existing conditions. Just before touching on that, I just want to tell you that COVID-19 is created by the virus, and viruses are parasites. They come to our healthy cells, they hijack them, and they use our resources to replicate themselves. Viruses need a host, and they don't survive outside the body for long. So if we can create an internal environment which is hostile to them, then they can't survive. So we are not defenseless. By having a good, healthy diet, you are helping your immune system. There is no doubt about it. You can't outrun the effect of a bad diet, and those effects don't always show up. But when we are faced with a virus like this, guess what? It just showed up. So the healthier we can make our bodies, the better our immune system can fight the infections. And reducing the risk of adverse outcomes for COVID-19 with nutrition, I think, is the best approach as we see it. So what can we do? Firstly, you want to reduce the underlying health conditions that are associated with worse outcomes. Secondly, you want to support your immune system's capacity to fight off infection. And lastly, you want your body to have the capacity to counter the serious collateral damage, which is basically caused by inflammation and oxidative stress through your immune system reaction. So just let's have a closer look at this. According to the study of over 72,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19 by Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the average risk of dying from COVID-19 was 2.3%, which is not very high, but this includes healthy people, young people, old people, people with pre-existing conditions, however, the healthier and younger, the lower the risk. And people who have comorbidity are at much higher risk. People with heart disease, so if you look at the graph here, you can see that people with heart disease are basically having 10% chance of dying from COVID-19, meaning 1 in 10 people who have heart disease are basically, unfortunately, can't make it through. With type 2 diabetes, about 7.3% is the chance of dying. With chronic respiratory disease, it's 6.3. With high blood pressure, it's 6%. With cancer, it's 5.6. And if you don't have any underlying health conditions, you only have 0.9% chance of kind of dying from COVID-19. According to the data, we also know that about 88% of the US population is metabolically unhealthy. This means only 12% are healthy. And there's no wonder why this pandemic hits US very hard, because the population is not healthy. So the underlying issue with all these metabolic health conditions is insulin resistance. And it is a whole remark in all these metabolic disease. So anybody who has high blood glucose, central adiposity, which is your belly fat, high triglyceride, which is a circulating fat in your bloodstream, low HDL or low good cholesterol, hypertension, you are basically at high risk for COVID-19. So if you look at all these diseases over here, you can see just beside the chronic respiratory disease, and some might say that cancer is also, the rest of them are basically your lifestyle disease, which can be kind of put into remission if you change your lifestyle. So why these kind of population are at higher risk? So because SARS-CoV-2 can damage your heart, cardiovascular system, it can promote blood clotting, it can constrict blood vessels and infiltrate and damage your red blood cells. So there is a certain receptor on the cells that this virus needs to attach into in order to enter your body. And that receptor calls ACE2 receptor. And in general, people who have type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and people who are on certain medication, which ibuprofen is one of them, they have more of these receptors on their bodies. These receptors can be found in many parts of the bodies. It can be they are on your respiratory tract and lung. They are also in gastrointestinal tract, including your tongue, mouth, as well as your intestine. It's also found in kidneys. So 27% of Wuhan hospitalized patients had kidney failure. If you have a lot of adipose tissue, you have a lot more of these receptors in your body. There is also receptors on your brain, and that's why some people get stroke, they lose their consciousness, and they lose their taste of smell and taste. So basically, some people have more of these receptors, and those are basically people who have underlying health conditions, as we just went through it. So in general, what you can do from a nutritional perspective to make sure that your immune system can fight off COVID-19 should you get it, this will reduce your chance of being hospitalized and any other complication. So people with who having underlying health conditions are at higher risk because their immune system is more compromised than a normal healthy person, and nutrition, as we said, plays a key role in keeping your immune system healthy. So should you get it, you are at reduced risk of serious complications. So let's look at our basically immune system and how does it work. So when we talk about immune system, there are three aspects of our immune system, or there is three lines of defense. So our first line of defense within your immune system is non-specific external barrier. This would be your skin and your mucous membranes, as well as your gut. This is basically kind of like a wall that the invaders have to get over before they can enter the intercity of your body. Those things are basically include your skin, mucous membranes, and gut barrier, as we said. So in the case of coronavirus, it enters your mucous membranes through your nose, eye, and mouth. So you really want to keep your hands clean and keep it away from your face, but you're also ensuring that you have beneficial gut bacteria by using things like probiotic kind of foods and drinks, cultured yogurt, and fermented foods and drinks. They can help ensure that you have a healthy gut microbiome to help stay away from infections, because that gut microbiome also can extend up to your mouth, and it is also promote general health. From a nutritional standpoint, though, the real effect come in when the virus infiltrates your body, and that's when it comes on your immune system. So those are the fighters who fight the viral infection and other infection and pathogens when they made their way into the inner city of your body. So let's say you've done everything to protect yourself. You did the social distancing, wearing of masks, sanitizing, washing your hands, but still that virus might get into your body. So you need to see basically how your body can protect itself when the virus enters your body. So the second line of defense on our bodies is basically our non-specific internal defense, which is our innate immune response. These are basically your macrophages and your natural killer cells. They can kind of gobble up pretty much everything. They are the first on the scene. So they are not clever cells and don't have the strategy to recognize the enemy. They kind of just gobble up everything. They like soldiers, and they're not like the strategists of the war, but they can be quite effective. So you want to support them as well. The inflammation is really important as part of the initial attack of the virus. So you need to be able to support the healthy inflammation, because that's that is the body's immune response. But also you need to give the capacity to your body to reduce it when it needs to. So we talk about nutrition that supports those first line soldiers later on. And then your third line of defense is basically your specific internal defense, and we call it your adaptive immune response. So as we said, after the first line soldiers, which was your first line of defense, then you have specific immune response. These are your T and B lymphocytes, which are your immune cells. Their job is to kind of identify the virus, come up with the specific strategy to specifically attack that virus. So you really want to support the ability to proliferate more and make more of those cells that can attack the virus specifically. So that non-specific internal defense can kind of gobble up everything, but the specific defense can kind of look at the virus, come up with a strategy, and specifically attack that specific virus. So now, what can you do? When it comes to your first line soldiers, vaccines, their job is to gobble up the virus if they can. They do it by releasing kind of free radicals, and they attack the virus by those free radicals and gobble it up. But these free radicals can't just be in your body out of control, and the body needs to be able to counter the free radical damage that has been done through your body during these kind of operations. So if you want to look at it, it is like a crossfire that damaged the buildings and the structure around it in the city, even though the aim was just to shoot the body. So you need to have nutrients in place to support and repair that damage so that you don't end up with chronic disease or other conditions that develop later because of that kind of damage. So those nutrients basically involved with that are very important. One is your vitamin C. You can get it from liver, from brightly colored fruit and vegetables, citrus fruit and berries. There's iron, which you can get it mostly from meat and organ meat. Zinc is a very important one, as well as copper and selenium, which you can find it in organ meat, other meats, nuts and seeds, and avocado. Then you also want to support the key strategies of the immune system, which is your B and T cells, lymphocytes. So nutrients that support proliferation or making more immune cells are your vitamin A and vitamin D. Vitamin A, liver is a very good source of vitamin A. Vitamin D, you can't really get enough of it from your diet. You need to either get it from sunshine or you need to supplement with vitamin D3, which is an active form of vitamin D. Other important vitamin is vitamin B6 and B12, which you can find it in meat, iron and zinc, which also comes from meat. So we're gonna go through them a little bit later again. So basically, there are three most important things that we can do right now to protect ourselves, even though we are within the second wave of infections. The first one, which is very, very, very important, is to get the underlying health problems under control so that your body is not already immune compromised. So you need to get them under control. Second one, to tame the inflammation that the virus takes advantage of. And the third one is to eat the food that can basically feed your good bacteria in the gut so that they can keep your immune system operating at its absolute peak. So what should you do? You basically just need to stop eating the crab. What does crab stand for? So C stands for basically carbonated drinks. R stands for refined carbohydrates. Those would be your things like bread and rice and pasta and those kind of things. A is added sugar, very, very, very important. Added sugar, you can find sugar in almost everything around you. And P stands for processed food. So just stay away from crab, and I promise you, you're gonna get a lot of your health conditions under control. Sugar is your enemy, and it is a friend to the virus. While some people may tolerate carbs, so there is a bit of a confusion over carbs. Some people can tolerate carbs. That's about 30% of the population, and 70% have some issues when we talk about carbs. But then nobody do well with the high sugar diet, which is what you are buying into if you are eating lots of processed and junk foods. So the more sugar and starch you eat, the more insulin your body has to produce to get that spike in your blood glucose and take that blood and take it into your cells. Over time, the cells grow resistance to all that insulin, or they might become insulin resistant, which then, if you get to that stage, then that can send your body down the inflammation highway, and the last stop is type 2 diabetes. So higher than normal blood sugar compromise your immune system, and it's likely make you vulnerable to basically microbial invaders and viruses, including COVID-2. So just stop eating the crab, and you're gonna be doing much better than what we do right now. As we said, 70% of our body's immune function is within the gut. So keeping your gut strong and your body well defended is very important. So the first thing is that poor digestion can keep us from absorbing the vitamins and minerals that we put into our bodies, which makes it difficult to get the nutrients that we need. Poor digestion can also make us uncomfortable, miserable, making it even more difficult to do like other healthy lifestyle things like exercise, for example, or to be more active. And typically eating healthy diet and drinking adequate amount of water can do wonders for your digestive system. However, we might need that extra help. So usually quick absorbed carbs, which is refined carbs, and sugar in any form can feed the bad bacteria in your gut, and it can basically damage your gut lining. You might get the leaky gut, which then allows stuff to leak through into your bloodstream, which then weakens your immune system and can trigger inflammation. So diet is not the only thing that can throw your good microbiome away. It is your whole body. It is basically your lack of sleep, too much stress, too much weight around your middle can also send your body towards the inflammation pathway. And typically, chronic inflammation takes a while to develop, and there are no obvious signs to let you know that it's flame on. Instead, you may suffer from mild symptoms like allergies, gut issues, bloating, IBS, constipation, or joint pain. So those are all showing that you need to look after your gut. So inflammation is basically at the root cause of most disease. So as we said, inflammation is the body's natural protective response to harm or injury. But it can also, if it goes out of control, it is linked with an increased chance of cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, heart disease, just to name a few. And now, with an increased number of studies finding links between high rate of inflammation and poor COVID-19 outcomes, we just need to look at it very urgently. So when things like COVID-19 comes to our body, and they takes up residence in someone whose immune system is already inflamed, then there are hormone-like molecules called cytokines, which normally can be helpful for healing acute injury, but they can easily overreact to the viral treat and setting off something called cytokine storm, which means that your body is overreacting with regards to inflammation. And that has been a certain issue with COVID-19 because that has landed up so many people in ICU during this pandemic because that overreacting your body to inflammation. So if you have a body which is already inflamed and then you get to that stage, your chance of surviving is not so good. So we just want to get the inflammation in our body to the lowest level possible, so that in case you get those inflammatory response when you catch the virus, then you can still kind of be in a much better situation. So certain foods are your superstar defenders against inflammation. They are rich in nutrients, antibacterial, antiviral, fungal protection. These are basically, there are also certain foods that can help your metabolism. They can lower down your blood sugar level, put it in healthy range. So the best thing is basically also to eat whole food, real food, as close to the nature as possible. There is toxic load in everything. It is in the soil, it is in our food, it is in our air, it is basically in your washing products, it's everywhere. So just try and reduce the toxic load, and to do it through your food is very important. So try and eat the food as close to the nature as possible. Try and stay from all the processed and packaged foods, and try and get stuff like organic from farmers markets if you can. So what nutrients are most important for your immune system? So this is just to put it together. So vitamin C, as we said, it's found in liver, highly colored fruits and veg, kiwi, citrus, and berries. Vitamin A, it found in yellow fruits and veggies like carrot, sweet potato, as well as leafy green veg. Vitamin E, you can find it in liver, butternut, leafy green nuts and seeds. Just to say that liver is a very, very, very high nutrients source of so many vitamins and minerals. If you can just get, and I know so many people don't like liver because of its texture, but if you can just get yourself to eat about 100 grams of liver per week, that can give you all the minerals and vitamins that you need for that week. So try and incorporate it into your daily routine, as well as bone broth is also something very, very nutritious. Other one is vitamin B. We said you can get it from meat, pork, citrus fruits, beans, lentils, nuts, broccoli, spinach, avocado. Folate and iron, they're also very important. Iron, basically meat and egg. And I want to just express on the three very important micronutrients, specifically with COVID-19. One is zinc, which you can find it in meat, shellfish, nuts, and seeds. It is very important to help your immune function basically be at its base and function properly. Vitamin D is also a very important one. It is a sunshine vitamin. Most of us don't get enough of sunshine, even though we are living in a sunny South Africa. There are, like, most of the population have vitamin D deficiency. So it is a good idea to just supplement with vitamin D3 in case, and that is an active form of vitamin D. And you can just get it off the counter from any pharmacies. Vitamin C is very important, and then selenium is also very, very important. And the best source of selenium is your Brazilian nuts. If you have 1 Brazilian nut per day, that can give you the enough selenium that you need for that day. So that's a natural way of having it. So specifically, low vitamin D and low zinc levels have been shown to kind of, with regards to COVID-19, people who have deficiencies in vitamin D and zinc, they have more of an adverse outcome. So just try to get them and supplement with them if you can. So with regards to vitamin D, I said sunshine exposure is very important. But remember that if you are getting that sunshine exposure, it should be more than 15 minutes, more than 3 times per week. You should expose your face, forearm, and legs over the summer months between the time of 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. So the winter sunshine is not really enough. If you don't get that, which I think a lot of people don't, because we working in the office and closed spaces, then you need to definitely supplement with vitamin D. So just to put it all together, try and eat whole food, real food kind of diet that contains animal protein. A high quality protein is really very important for a healthy immune function. Those B and T cells, they're made out of protein. So for a healthy immune function, you need to have protein, as well as comes with the protein is your vitamins and minerals. Always when you have protein, there is some vitamins and minerals come with it. Your best sources of protein would be the animal sources of protein. So your meat, organ meat, seafood, poultry, eggs. And then we have a plant sources of protein, which is not as high quality. Try and focus on healthy fats, things like olive oil, avocado oil, nuts and seeds, particularly seafood, just to get a lot of omega-3 and to overcome, because that can overcome that excessive amount of inflammation in your body. So omega-3 is basically supporting, it is anti-inflammation, so you can get rid of inflammation if you kind of include a lot of it in your diet. Remember to get sufficient sunshine and supplement with vitamin D. As we said, vitamin D plays a major role in basically strategizing those immune system function. Try and include probiotics from cultured and fermented fruits and drinks. So just to look after your gut, that's also very, very important. And there are specific herbs, spices, and beverages that you can include in your daily routine, which can help with your immune response. A lot of them are basically have anti-inflammatory properties. A lot of them have antioxidants, antimicrobial, and antifungal effects. So those are basically your basically garlic, ginger, cardamom, rosemary, basil, cloves, coriander, turmeric, cinnamon, peppers, and then as well as you should include a lot of teas and herbal teas, as well as drink a lot of water throughout the day. So with regards to spices, we know that doTERRA has a very good range of the oils that basically are a lot more concentrated than if you are just using the spice. So turmeric is a very good one. It can reduce inflammation, it can boost the heart and brain health, and it can prevent heavy metal toxicity. So you can add turmeric to your cooking dishes, rice dishes, soups, stews, and use that aromatic aroma as well. So doTERRA has a turmeric essential oil, which is basically can help reduce the inflammation with regards to your immune system, which is really, really good. And you can add it to your food. The other one is ginger. So they also, ginger as well as garlic, they have basically anti-inflammatory and immune optimizing properties. It can help settle your stomach and reduce the pain associated with migraines. And garlic can reduce the cancer risk in general. So you can incorporate both into your cooking. You can basically add a drop of ginger in your tea. It can also help your sinuses. It can also help to control blood sugar level, and it is basically can boost your immune system. So ginger is very good. Cinnamon is another one. Cinnamon is known for anti-inflammatory, anti-diabetic, antimicrobial, and anti-cancer properties. So it's a very, very common and very good spice to include into your daily routine. You can even add and it can get your sugar under control, as well as it can fight off infection. So that's about cinnamon. The other one, hot peppers in general have remarkable benefits in bringing down the inflammation. And basically they can also reduce aging. So, and we know that pink pepper has just been launched in South Africa a few days ago. So it is available to get now, and it's got a lot of benefits for inflammation and circulation, for immunity, for metabolism, blood sugar levels. And it's just basically one of the very good oils to also include. You can also include it in your cooking. Cardamom is another one of the good spices that you can also use. It can help maintain gastrointestinal health when ingested. It can promote clear breathing and respiratory health. And you can basically use it as a flavor in your cooking and baking. You can also diffuse it, so that can help with your breathing and immune system. Cilantro or coriander is basically another one. So this herb, we use it quite a lot in cooking. It has antifungal and antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory effects. You can use it in your salads, you can use it in your cooking, and now you can use the oil, which is basically a lot more concentrated than just the herb itself. It can support your liver and kidney, and it can also support immunity. It can also help with cleansing the heavy metals in your body. So that's a good one. Next one, cloves. It contains chemicals that can help tame the inflammation. So we talk about inflammation and how important it is to reduce that inflammation. So we know that you can add it to many of Indian dishes, biryanis, curries. So that's a good one to use. It is antioxidant. It can give you immunity support, and it is something that's been used for treating toothache and gum support as well. So I think a lot of people are familiar with its benefits. Basil is another herb that has strong anti-inflammatory properties, and it tastes very good. You can use it also in cooking, in salads, and the oil obviously is basically can basically help with your digestive system, detoxifying, and many other benefits. Rosemary is the other one. It is basically a rich source of anti-inflammatory compounds as well as antioxidants, which can play an important role in neutralizing those free radicals that your body needs to get, basically to get rid of them. It can support the healthy digestion, and it can help nervous tension and feeling of tiredness. You can also, you can digest it, you can use it in your cooking, you can diffuse it, you can add it topically. The other oils, we know that all the citrus oils, things like wild orange, lemon, lime, have cleansing properties. They all uplifting, and they have immune enhancing benefits. So those are very good ones to also include in your daily healthy routines. I know so many people include lemon and lime and wild orange. I also find it very, very beneficial for people who kind of addicted to those carbonated sugary drinks and fruit juices and those kind of things, it really helps. If you don't like the taste of water by itself, you can just add a drop of this citrus oil. It gives a very nice taste to your water, as well as you get all those benefits within the water you eat, you drink, and it can keep you away from all those unhealthy carbonated fizzy drinks, sugary drinks. So that's a good one to use and include in your daily routine. And then we get to doTERRA essential oil blends, which are few of them which are very good for your immune response. One of them is On Guard. On Guard is basically made out of wild orange, clove, eucalyptus, and rosemary. It is a blend of those oils together, and it can basically naturally support your immune system. It is basically, it is the very good one to use specifically during these times now. You can digest it internally, have a drop of or two as your daily routine. With kids going back to school, you can literally dilute it with fractionated coconut oil or just with normal aqueous cream. You can put it under their feet before you send them to school, if they go back to school. Or if you are going to crowded places, when you go out of the house, you can do the same thing. You can also diffuse it within your office if you know that people are coming and going all the time. So that can keep parasites and bugs and stuff away. So that's a very good one to use now. It's basically immune boosting blend. The next one is Breathe, which is also a blend of few oils together. It can help with clearing airways, with breakdown of mucus. It is helping with the restful night sleep. It generally helps with easy breathing, assists with the intake of oxygen. So during this time of COVID-19, that also might be very handy to basically help with the intake of oxygen, as well as just to help breathing and getting rid of the some of the cough and breathing issues. I had a very good experience with Breathe a few weeks ago. So my son, who is 9 years old, was coughing quite badly. I don't know, it was allergy or what. He suddenly started coughing for a few nights. And then the first night I was just using the normal cough syrup and antihistamine, and it didn't work. Second night, I remembered that I have the Breathe, because it was just at the beginning, I wasn't really into the essential oils that much yet. So then I realized, oh, I've got Breathe in my kit. So I took it out. I literally just diluted it with some aqueous cream. I put it under his feet as well as in the chest, and he went to bed. And I promise you, he stopped coughing within less than half an hour. He didn't cough until the next morning. So that is how effective it was. And then I used it 3 nights in a row. He stopped coughing permanently, and then I didn't use any other medication. So with this, not saying that you shouldn't use medication at all. Medicine has its own place in our lives. So if you have certain issues, you definitely need to consult your doctor and get the help. But these are just giving us extra support sometimes when we need them. And then we talk about gut, as we mentioned. So you probably heard that the gut is your second brain. And why do we say that? Because there are significantly more nerve pathways from the gut to the brain than from the brain to the gut. Over 90% of neurotransmitter serotonin is created in the gut, and the gut is the main home of your immune system. So we have gut microbiome, which basically you need to have for a healthy immune function. You need to have a good microbiome in your gut. It can prevent you from the harm, and basically you need to support that healthy intestine microbiome. So there are some threats to that microbiome or microflora. Usually when you have physical stressor, then you kind of change that microbiome. Chemicals and toxins, as I said, in our food and in our environment can affect that. Unhealthy diet can basically replace it with a bad bacteria, as well as when you travel to somewhere, usually in different places, people have different gut microbiome depending on the environment and the food they eat. So usually when you travel, you kind of get exposed to the new environment, so that can change your gut microbiome, as well as antibiotics usually damage your gut microbiome. And that's why every time you go and the doctor gives you antibiotic, they usually give you some probiotic to have it with, just to support that, microflora in your gut. So if you have compromised microbiome in your gut, it will give you digestive discomfort, food sensitivities, basically chronic gastrointestinal challenges. It can basically reduce your immunity, and then as well as it can give you mood imbalances. So your gut is basically affecting everywhere in your body. And then we have a beautiful blend, which is called Zendocrine, which is really a detoxification blend. It can support your gut health if you know that you don't have a healthy gut. You can also incorporate that in your daily routine. It can basically help your kidney and liver for cleansing, getting rid of those heavy metals in your body. It can help with also weight loss and gut support, endocrine and hormone support. And it is basically the Ola vitality and transition. So that is also a very good blend to incorporate in your daily routine to just look after your gut and then put your immune system at its own base. Zengest is another digestive blend, which can also aid with acid reflux and heartburn, motion sickness, and basically it can help with maintaining a healthy gastrointestinal tract. You can digest it, you can diffuse it, or you can basically use it topically. And then we have Slim and Saucy, which is one of the very nice blends. I kind of use this one quite a lot with my clients. It can also promote a healthy metabolism. It can manage hunger cravings, sugar cravings, and it is calorie-free. It can basically lower down the blood sugar level. It has detoxifying and cleansing properties. And it also, it can manage your appetite and cravings. So that's also a very good blend to be used. And then I think one of the very nice oils that doTERRA has is copaiba, which can basically soothe anxious feeling. It is good for pain. It promotes healthy nervous, cardiovascular, and immune system function. It is good for promoting overall cellular health. It has powerful antioxidants. It can reduce discomfort and inflammation. And it can also give relief for your respiratory tract and congestive issues. So that's also a very good one. Before I kind of round it up, I just want to see if anybody else has any testimonies about different oils or oil blends that you have been used that you would like to share with us. So you can unmute yourself and just share that with us.
Thank you. So Darlene, if you just want to either raise your hand or you can just wave and I'll get to see you. If you would like to, we're literally just going to take 3 testimonies and you can connect on any one. Darlene, you can go now.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Faranak. I'm sitting here and listening to you, and I'm so overwhelmed with having your expertise. I don't think we really realize how fortunate we are being in the position to get this information. I've always known that healing comes from within, but most of us, we do our best. We run from day to day and we neglect ourselves. So I came to the realization that if I don't look after my own health, how can I possibly look after and support my family? So I've been walking this, this journey with Faranak for a few months now. Teaching me how to look after myself, how to use food. And the oils has really been great support. At first, when she started telling me about keto, I was a little bit hesitant because I like, things like Coke Zero or soft drinks. And I never realized how many sugars there are hidden in products. I never knew that. I took sugar-free products and I thought that I was this amazing person trying to live healthy. But without the knowledge that I got from Faranak, I never knew that. And then especially being hydrated, keeping hydrated. I love tangerine and wild orange, adding that to my drinks. And then I have my Smart and Sassy. This is my Smart and Sassy. I actually use it topically, and it really does make a difference. So that's how I use it. I haven't lost as much weight as Mel, but I have a different medical history and different challenges, but I'm feeling fantastic. I get lots of compliments, and yeah, the thing is, we do what we can do. We do the best we can do to keep ourselves healthy and to use the oils and to keep our families healthy. So thank you for sharing, and that's my short testimony.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I do know that we've got another testimony. Sunette, if you want to unmute yourself and share your testimony, that'll be great. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to have you here on this class. The information is absolutely valuable and so great to hear. In terms of immune, for me specifically, I have a different kind of diabetes than the one that Faranak do. However, a lot of the challenges are very similar in terms of immune support and the staying healthy and not staying healthy, or having exposure to all kinds of different things. And I can simply say that having included, for example, copaiba and also turmeric and the zendocrine into my daily life, including the Smart and Sassy and also the Zengest, it has not only provided me with health benefits in terms of challenges that I have with the diabetes, but also I strongly believe with immune. I take the On Guard every day, and despite the fact that my blood sugars are better, I feel healthier and I feel more energized, and I would not have been able to get all of that benefits without the essential oils. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Sunette. And a last testimony, is there anybody else who wants to share? I know that we've got a couple of the team leaders on. I know we've got Marilee on, Chantel was here a little earlier, and Janine is on. Just a last, Antoinette, did you want to share testimony? No. I can't. Oh, I'm not hearing your microphone there. I'm very mindful of our time. Is there anybody else that wants to share a quick testimony? Just unmute yourself if you do. Okay, if there isn't anybody else, I certainly will share. I have been using the Smart and Sassy in South Africa. It's registered under Smart and Sassy name. Certainly has helped body metabolism to really balance. And also Zendocrine has recently been released in South Africa. So I've used it for the last month or so. And as Faranak is saying, it's exceptionally helpful in terms of cleansing out your system. So that's something I've been using. And copaiba is also something. Darlene, don't you just want to literally 30 seconds touch on what is copaiba, what's so valuable about copaiba? I know you're really good at this one.
Well, I don't know if I'm really good. I'm just so fascinated because everybody talks about cannabinoids and CBD, and that's the hot topic. So we have something different. First of all, copaiba is a regulated product. So each and every drop you have is exactly, certified, pure and therapeutic, the same drop each and every time in each and every bottle, where you have no control if you have CBD coming from another source, like, cannabis. You don't know where it's sourced from. You don't know, what the variety of plant is. That all determines the therapeutic value of the active components. So the bottle you pay for today is most definitely not the same as the one you buy tomorrow from somebody else. Copaiba works on you. Everybody has an endocannabinoid system. So this is kind of complex, but you can Google, if you go specifically and Google Dr. Axe, CBD versus copaiba, you'll get very good scientific approach and explanation about this. So in short, that's about it. It is similar to CBD, but better, without side effects.
I like that. Similar, but better. I just also wanted to touch, okay, there's a lot of people on the call that maybe don't know me. I'm a specialist wellness counselor. And so I'm involved from an emotional perspective in terms of helping people. And Faranak said a very, very important thing. So I need to just highlight that. She spoke about serotonin and about 90%. I didn't know that. And I have 2 degrees in psychology. Okay. And I didn't know that 90% of serotonin is produced in the gut. So when we're talking about mental health, when we're talking about well-being and people feeling how they're feeling, we sometimes are dealing here, but many times actually we could also duplicate in terms of helping people holistically by beginning to look at their gut. And so I want to tell you from a scientific perspective, serotonin, it's a very big word, but literally it's a key hormone for you and I. It's going to be something that stabilizes your mood. It's going to help you feel good about yourself and well-being, but it also helps in terms of producing happiness, okay? And it impacts your entire body. So really, it's going to help you with sleeping, eating, digestion. If you want to start there, start with your gut. Start with exactly what Faranak has been telling you. Faranak, am I giving back over to you before we give away some amazing oils today?
Okay, so I'm just going to round it up very quickly. So as I said, just to focus on your health, the very important thing is to try and see if you have underlying health conditions. Please do your best to get them under control. I think that for a significant number of people, lifestyle and dietary choices has preceded this COVID crisis and is now something of a perfect storm in which we have a large number of people who are particularly vulnerable to this particular pandemic. So COVID pandemic is not going anywhere soon. Our relationship with what we eat could be one of the most important factors in surviving this pandemic in medium term. And the only short-term vaccine that we have and that is going to work is your diet and lifestyle. You might be able to vaccinate yourself against adverse outcomes and against the risk by eating the right food and basically looking at your holistic approach for your health and wellness. So to combat this and the future pandemics, we need to talk about not only the masks that goes over our face, but the food that goes into them. Pills and surgery can treat symptoms of these conditions, but we know that diet-related problems require diet-related solutions. So the good news is that changing your diet and lifestyle can start to reverse these conditions in a matter of weeks. So to build resilience to this virus now and forever, we need to talk about better nutrition and healthier lifestyle. So the food you eat can be either the most powerful and safest form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. And just to finish up, take care of your body. It's the only place that you have to live. Thank you so much and hope you all learned something.
Wow, wow, wow. Just before we stop our recording, I would just like to share the details of if you are wanting to contact Faranak and if you are wanting to get hold of her, please take her details down and contact her. Faranak, oh, I see your cell number isn't on here. Won't you put it in the chat bar quickly for those who are on the call? We will add it as well to the details on the YouTube video that we will upload a little bit later on. Faranak, absolutely. Thank you so much. So value, so appreciate your kind assistance and just everything that you're doing. We appreciate that.